Hi, I'm Paul Pasolka, IB Masters Learning Center at IBMasters.com, and today we're going to look at the 13th question from Digital SAT Test 3, Module 1. Number 13 reads, which choice most logically completes a text? Whenever you've got a question like this, what you want to do is you want to read through and predict your answer if you understand everything you just read. If not, you want to go back and make sure you have a summary in your head before you make that prediction. Now, you have a timing issue. You want to make sure you pay careful attention to how the passage is structured and what's going on in it so you can make that prediction right away. Let's go to the passage. Many of William Shakespeare's tragedies address broad themes that appeal to today's audiences. For instance, so another way to say for instance is for example. So now what we're going to get is we're going to get an example of a tragedy that addresses a broad theme that appeals to today's audiences. Romeo and Juliet, which is set in Italy of Shakespeare's time, tackles the themes of parents versus children, love versus hate, and the play continues to be read and produced widely around the world. So what's implied there is that still today, parents and children fight. There's a struggle between love and hate as well. And so as a result, it's still popular. But whenever it says but, you want to pay attention to but. And then we've got understanding Shakespeare's so-called history plays can require a knowledge of several centuries of English history. Consequently, blah, 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 blah. So if you've got your prediction now, fantastic. If not, you want to review what you've highlighted. The Bluebook app will allow you to highlight what you've highlighted so far. So what we've got is tragedies address broad themes, so they appeal to today's audiences. We get an example of that in Romeo and Juliet. And then we get a but, and then it says history requires knowledge. So consequently, which just means as a result, it doesn't mean anything bad is happening. You know, consequence, sometimes it means like you suffer the consequences if you break the rules. Consequently, all it means is as a result. So once you read that word, you want to make your prediction. And I would say, like, you know, his historical plays are not just as easily understood as his tragedies or something like that. It's got to play into the theme that was just mentioned. And let's go to the answer choices and see what best fits our prediction. Answer is A. Many theater goers and readers today are likely to find Shakespeare's history plays less engaging than tragedies. That's probably it, because how many people have knowledge of several centuries of English history? Well, let's look at the other answer choices, though. Some of Shakespeare's tragedies are more relevant to today's audiences than 20th century plays. Now, if it said then his histories, then maybe, but 20th century plays, not his history, it's comparing his tragedies to his histories. No, 20th century plays aren't being compared to anything there. Answer is C. Romeo and Juliet is the most thematically accessible of all of Shakespeare's tragedies. So it sounds like the passage is saying that that Romeo and Juliet is thematically accessible. It sounds like it serves as a good example of a tragedy, but we can't say of all of Shakespeare's plays. It's just used as an example. It's got to say or imply that. So C is gone. Answer is D. Experts in English history tend to prefer Shakespeare's history plays to his other works. Well, you might get an expert in English history who's a hopeless romantic and loves Romeo and Juliet or some other tragedy more than they love the history. That's not a theme either. Like, do experts in history like the history plays more? It just says that they will understand his history plays. Doesn't mean they're going to like him more. So answer is A stands as your best answer. Many theatergoers and readers today are likely to find Shakespeare's history plays less engaging than tragedies. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has difficulty with what most logically completes a text. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit that bell button. And if you want to see the short videos, you could go to IB Masters Learning Center on YouTube, go to the playlist, find your test and module number, and then find your question number within that playlist. And you could see short videos that you might not need all this explanation for anything you've gotten wrong. Have a great day.